Theatre performer turned political secretary Fahmi Fadzil is set to play his biggest role this week. Cast as the underdog in GE14, he enjoyed a comfortable win over Datuk Raja Nong Chik in Lembah Pantai. With this victory comes the pressure to deliver, but Fahmi is doing all he can to live up to expectations. We talk to Fahmi as he prepares to face his first week as an MP.
It feels surreal when I first participated in whether it was Reformasi or the first general election that I really helped out in 1999. I never thought that this day would come, and that this day would come in my lifetime, because it's just felt like all the things were not to say against, but it just feel like tough, you know. So this election has been what I like to call kind of like a black swan of black swans, and the perfect storm of perfect storms. When some people in the party felt that it was very difficult for us making it in Lembah Pantai and also the rest of Malaysia, of course it's very wonderful, but I'm also cognizant of the fact that people's expectations are running very, very high.
Fahmi is also looking forward to the parliamentary session as a backbencher.
We have to wait to the 16th of July when MPs will choose our own speaker. Beyond the cabinet itself is to see these institutional reforms that we've always been fighting for, that we've always been talking about, that we've always chastised the previous administration on, which includes more public engagement when it comes to putting bills through the House. I feel that it's important to have the House not sit as a committee at the committee stage, but to have proper committees that can invite stakeholders, professionals, people who can provide important insight to come, to look at bills, because then you can have real insight and real feedback into that process. And I look forward to the day that we can have parliamentary select committees that can vet key positions in government. It's very important not to place too much power in one position, in one individual. We need to break that up to avoid the excesses and the wrongdoings that happened in the previous administration. What I like to bring to Parliament and see happen in Parliament today would be a more robust parliamentary system, one that is independent. For example, there's no minister in charge of parliamentary affairs, which is a fantastic indicator that the 14th Parliament will be more independent compared to the more recent ones.
A graduate in chemical engineering, he is aware that practical politics involves working the numbers, not delivering speeches. Despite being a first-time MP, he is not afraid of championing causes that matter to Malaysians.
The question of what is an urban poor? What is that in Malay? It's pendapatan garis kemiskinan. It's set at about 940 ringgit per month. So if you earn below that amount, then you're an urban poor. But the reality is that if you live in Pantai Dalam, you live in Kuala Lumpur and try to survive on 1,000 ringgit, you're not going to get far. So I think that has to change. On top of that, the way we think about housing, we've seen from UNICEF report, it basically says that those who grow up in PPRs, by and large, would suffer tremendously compared to those who don't. And you're staying in a PPR, most likely you have to study in the living room. With the TV, you have no other place for you to go and study. Why can't we think of public housing as a national project of value in terms of architecture? And I think we have a lot of history. You look at the kind of aesthetic and architecture that was designed and built in the 60s, in the 70s. Why can we not bring back that aesthetic, the way we think about the effort of building the nation? So if you can have good homes, we also deal so systematically with the problem of urban poverty and malnutrition, while at the same time preparing a lot of our young, a lot of our youth, a lot of our students for a work environment that is significantly and probably like absolutely different from what we imagine it right now. I think then we're off to a good start.
Going forward, Fahmi has high hopes for future. He is determined to build a new Malaysia that the people will be proud to call home.